you have done, which is good. But how about protecting the interest? There are some of you among the fathers that if you come out to hold a press conference and speak, it will change things in this Nigeria. The problem is that you do not do that. Many of you, God has given you the capacity, the influence, the affluence, the platform. But you have not done anything about that. A recommendation. The church must be intentional at this time to develop a security network. You must collaborate regardless of your denomination. Either you are Catholic or Pentecostal. After all, when they come, they will not ask you, are you Catholic or Pentecostal? They just do what they do. Either you are Catholic, Pentecostal, Anglican, whatever it is, Caribbean and Seraphim, Christ Apostolic, we must unite. You must unite. All you fathers must organize a conference and speak to how to create a Christian security network.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're watching. This is CROSSBLOGXTV. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. Apostle Michael has spoke up regarding things that is going on in Nigeria, and regarding these bandits attacking Christians, attacking everybody in Nigeria. Now, why are the fathers of faith, why are they silent? And Apostle Michael has come out. He said he didn't come out to ridicule anybody or to drag them down or to say anything, but it's just only a question that why are they silent? Is it until it starts coming to everybody's home one by one, or the country is destroyed? That's the question he came to ask this morning. So please, let's listen and listen attentively to what he's saying regarding this attack, this bandit, and the way this country is going, and why all the fathers of faith are keeping quiet. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. Drop your opinion down below and listen to what he's saying and let it sink into your head. He's not dragging, he has said it, he's not dragging any pastor down. He's not coming to disgrace them or call them out for anything. If a convert from Muslim to Christian can have the guts to come out and to say this, why are all these fathers that are rolling with the president and all that, they cannot boldly say it? Please, let's listen to Apostle Michael.
As long as the men that are seen as righteous and know the truth are quiet, the evil in the land will continue to prevail. This is why this morning, by the grace of God, I would like to send a message in respect of all that is happening in Nigeria. I find it needful at this time, this morning, I find it an imperative to send a message to the leaders of Christian communities in Nigeria. The people that we call the fathers of faith in Nigeria. I want to send this message to Pastor Adeboye Dadijio, to Bishop Oyedepo, to Dr. Paul Enencha, to Pastor W.F. Kumuyi, to Pastor Olukoya of MFM, to Bishop Wale Oke, the former president of PFN, to Papa Ayo Orishajafo, Most Reverend Matthew Manasseh Ondogo, the president of the Catholic Bishop of Nigeria, the Catholic Bishop Conference of Nigeria, to Most Reverend Henry Chukudum Undukuba of the Anglican Communion, the leader of the Anglican Communion, to Pastor Samuel Olusegun Oladele of CAC, Christ Apostolic Church, to Reverend Dr. Baba Paya of ECWA, the leader, the president of ECWA Church in Nigeria, to the leadership of Christian Association of Nigeria, to the leadership of Pentecostal Fellowship of Nigeria, known as the PFN. Believe me, if I have any other means or any other method of conveying my message to you this morning, I would have done that. But God knows that I am a man, I'm not a popular preacher. And so I do not have the contact, I do not have the means, I do not have the opportunity to be able to reach you directly. But I believe that by God's mercy, this message will reach every one of you. As the leaders of Christians, as the people that are tagged and termed as fathers of faith in Nigeria. Now this message this morning is not to ridicule you. It's not to insult you in any way. Every one of you that I've mentioned, and even those that I did not mention. It is not to ridicule you. It is not to insult you. It is not to mock you in any way, because I will never do that. I'm a man that is overwhelmed by the burden of the present situation of Nigeria. And sometimes we want to look away. We want to present it is not happening. But when we begin to think of what is to come for the Christians in Nigeria, we are stirred up within the spirit to be able to speak concerning this issue. Now, when the Lord saved me into year 2010, when I gave my life to Christ from Islam, it was on a personal encounter, and the Lord saved me from Islam. It was on a personal encounter with Jesus, and I became a Christian. And the first thing I asked the Lord, so what is the next thing I should do? Where do I go? And the Lord said, go to deeper life. I was in deeper life from the year 2010 to 2015. And in the year 2015, ending of 2015, by the Spirit of God, I moved to Redeemed Christian Church of God. And I served in the Redeemed Christian Church of God for 2015 to 2020. I served in different capacities. I was a Sunday school teacher. I was a zonal youth president. I was a zonal house fellowship coordinator. I was active in all, in the church. The reason I'm saying this morning is that so that you know that I am a direct beneficiary of the graces of God upon your life. I have drunk from the well of the Spirit that God has poured through you. So there is no way I'll come out this morning to insult you. I cannot do that. I honor you too well. I love you too well. But I find this imperative. I find this urgent at this time to send this message not to one person, to every fathers of faith in Nigeria, every leader of every Christian community, even those that I do not mention. And in the time past, by the Spirit of God, I have sent message to the President of Nigeria. In the time past, I have sent message to Sultan of Sokoto. In the time past, I have sent a message to President Trump of the United States. And this morning, it is needful for me this morning to send message to every Christian leader in Nigeria, so that you can understand what we are going through. And there is so much you have labored for in Nigeria that if care is not taken, within the next 20 years, 30 years, will be all destroyed. If nothing is done to all that is happening in Nigeria. The matter of insecurity in Nigeria that has overwhelmed the nation, especially on the matter of genocide, the killings of the Christian brethren in the north. I have been speaking about this right from when I was in the north. That God has given us the grace by His grace to be privileged to some information. And we know some of the atrocities that have been committed. We know some of the atrocities that have been committed. And we know that what is being committed in the future. I want to tell you this morning that no matter what has been done against the church and the Christian brethren, and no matter what is being done against the church and the Christian brethren, what is to be done in the future is far worse than what has been done. And if we don't talk about this now, I am afraid that the faith of the Christian faithfuls in Nigeria, the faith of the church, is at stake. Number one, this morning I want you to know is that there is Islamization agenda. Many of you know this. Many of you have come to this reality, but many are still denying this fact. The reason being that majority of you are domiciled within the southern part of the nation. And so some of you do not have an understanding of the realities of what is happening in the north. And so every time it seems like an ordinary news to you, except if you have been a victim. We have been a victim. I have been a victim. I have people that I know directly have been a victim. And several times I should have been killed long ago during the write-out of Sharia. And so number one, I want to make you understand that there is Islamization agenda. An agenda to turn Nigeria to a Lebanon. An agenda to turn Nigeria to a Turkey. An agenda to turn Nigeria to Jordan. These countries were one-time Christian nations. These countries were one-time nations that have over 70% of Christianity. But today those nations are 100% Islam. This is not something that started today. No, it didn't start today. It didn't start 10 years ago. It didn't start 20 years ago. It didn't even start 30 years ago. This is an agenda that has been put in motion for almost 70, 80, 90 years in Nigeria. And this thing began to find full expression in Nigeria in the 70s, in the 80s. Starting with the days of Babangida. When Babangida registered Nigeria under OIC, Organization of Islamic Cooperation, an international Islamic body that regulates Islamic countries. Then you will ask yourself, is Nigeria an Islamic nation? Is Nigeria an Islamic nation for Nigeria to be registered in OIC? But because they know that they can do what they want to do, and they know that they can push Christians to the wall, they can begin to step on your toes, and you will do nothing. So they register Nigeria under OIC, and nobody said anything. Till today, Nigeria is a member of OIC. OIC comprises about 57 countries, which majority of them are Islamic nations. Or you must have about 70% of the population of your nation as Muslims for you to be a member of OIC. The question this morning is does Nigeria have majority of Islam? Nigeria is 50% Muslim, 50% Christianity. Why will Nigeria be a member of OIC? Then it continued in the 2000s when 12 northern states implemented Sharia as their ruling law. 12 states in Nigeria implemented Sharia to be the ruling law in 12 northern states, and nobody said anything. And you are all there. You were aware, knowing fully what the rod of Sharia, the principle of Sharia, mandate that an unbeliever that does not believe in Islam should be killed or should be made to pay the Islamic tax known as the Jizra. But nobody did anything. 12 states adopted Sharia in this nation, and all you fathers of faith did not do anything against it. Knowing fully that in Nigeria there are Christians and there are Muslims scattered all over the nation. How will a nation that is still a secular nation have 12 states in its nation practicing Sharia and Islamic law? Knowing fully well that you don't do anything, they push for that. It will interest you that 1999 Constitution, the Constitution of 1999, has several provisions for Sharia, several provisions for Islam, several provisions for Muslim, but not one did mention Christianity or Christian. So we can say that the Constitution of Nigeria is an Islamic constitution. I took my time to make a research, and I found this so. I've been hearing it as speculation until I took my time to make a research, and I found several places. The Constitution of Nigeria has provision for Islam, for Islamic court, for Sharia court. But not one did mention Muslim, not one did mention Christianity. It has provision for Islamic banking, Islamic financing. How can you say the nation is a secular nation and the Constitution have provision for Islam but not for Christianity? But you all were watching. You didn't mention it. You didn't say anything. This is the confidence that made them make the Nigerian army logo. When you go and look at the Nigerian army logo, you find Arabic writing on the Nigerian logo. You cannot ask yourself, is Nigeria an Islamic nation? Why will Nigeria's army logo have an Arabic inscription on it? Why does the currency that we use in Nigeria have Arabic inscription on it? If we're truly a secular nation, are we an Islamic nation? Why? But they know that you people are not saying anything. They have went through people and they found out that you will not do anything. And so therefore, they keep pressing. It will interest you that by this Sharia law, many Christians have been killed. In 2016, that did you will remember that an evangelist Eunice in Abuja was only preaching on the streets in Abuja, and she was killed for preaching the gospel. Because they find her violating Sharia law for preaching the gospel. A member of the Redeemed Christian Church of God preaching the gospel, and she was murdered in cold blood. You didn't do anything about it. The church didn't do anything about it. The nation just moved on. Deborah Samuel was murdered in cold blood. The nation moved on. People have been murdered in Kano. The nation moved on. In Kaduna, several places. The nation moved on. Recently, a woman was shot in the eyes simply because they told her to denounce Jesus, and she said no, she will not denounce Jesus. And they first killed her father in her front. She said she will not denounce Jesus, and they shot her in a temple. But luckily, God saved her. She survived it. But the repercussion is that He blinded her 2 eyes. Many of you see this, but you have been quiet. Every single day, they keep pressing to Islamize. They keep pressing to turn Nigeria to an Islamic caliphate. I have revealed this over and over and over. I've been shouting this over and over. Many of you are aware. The point is that you are not doing anything about it. Like I said, I'm not here to insult you this morning, but to bring this into your awareness that you have been very cool. As a father or as father, there are 2 responsibilities of father. There are 2 responsibilities of father. Number 1 is to provide. Number 2 is to protect. And we thank God that many of you, by the Spirit of God, you have provided spiritual meal. God has used it to run exploit in diverse places in Nigeria, producing genuine fruit, building genuine believers. Unfortunately, you have not done the aspect of protecting. Of what benefit will it be, sir? If after you go out and do a crusade today, and you win souls for Jesus, and the following week, jihadists come and destroy them and kill them, of what benefit is it? If it was so, Jesus would have taken us the moment we give our life to Christ. The reason why God left us on earth is to fulfill purpose and destiny. Why will you continue to labor on people and you allow jihadists to keep killing them and you do not do anything about it? I'm bringing it to your attention again this morning. There's Islamic agenda, Islamization agenda, to Fulanize the nation, to turn Nigeria to what Usman Dafodio did with the Hausa land when he conquered the Hausa land. And now the whole of Hausa land are majorly Muslims. Number 2, there is genocide. A systematic and well-planned orchestration to eliminate the Christian, starting from the northeast to the northwest and to the north central. I've had many victims. I've seen many victims. Christians have been displaced. Every part of this nation, you will never go a place and you will see Fulani IDP people, Fulani that are in IDP camp. No, it is always Christians. All over the nations. They keep going into farms, destroying the people's farm and killing them on the farm. Several every single day there's always a burial. Reverend Ezekiel keep conducting burial every single day. What have you people done about it? You are all fathers. It is your responsibility not only to provide spiritual meal, but also to protect your flock. What are you people doing about it? This message is for everybody. And I'm saying all over the world, those are people all over the world, people will know that there is a genocide against the Christian faith, against the vulnerable Christian communities in Nigeria. That many have been displaced, many have been killed, many have been annihilated. In 2021, a camp president, Christian social president of Adeboye State, was beheaded. I watched the video. Was beheaded. But nobody did anything about it. Everybody just keep moving on. Everybody keep moving on. Nobody did anything about it. We have seen a systematic alarm by some men in the military, in the army, some jihadists in the army that are systematically killing their fellow soldiers that are Christians. Killing their fellow soldiers that are Christians. Systematically killing their fellow soldiers that are Christians. Because the calamitous Buhari that will not rest in peace has enrolled jihadists back into the army. And they are killing Christians. But what did you people do about it as fathers? You keep going about your conferences and crusades. It will interest you to know that the Muslim ticket they did was an experiment to test your limits as Christians to see if they can achieve that. And El-Rufai did it in Kaduna State by having the governor and also the deputy governor was a Muslim. At the moment they achieved that, they said, okay, if you can do this in Kaduna State, we can also do this nationally. And they did it nationally and they succeeded. What did you people do about it? Nothing. And brethren, innocent brethren are being displaced. When every day something get so tired of the news, there's hardly one day you will not see this news. There's hardly one day. Man of God, you follow me? You can't go online one day and not see that a Christian community have been killed, kidnapped, and other. Why? Because they are in the last phase of the Islamization, which is jihad. That what you are seeing, the kidnapping, the killings, and all you are seeing is a function of jihad that systematically emboxing Christians to either submit to Islam or be killed. But what are the fathers of faith doing? You are in your Lagos, you are in your cities, and you are enjoying your life. You keep going over your thing because it does not concern you. Like I said, I'm not here to insult anybody, but I'm here to bring this to your attention. I'm a man that is united for a time like this. I honor men, but I fear no man. Jihad, performing jihad, going about killing Christians, performing jihad. And we see most of these people are financed by the government. They are financed by the government. Recently, a terrorist was saying, government pay ransom. If the government of a nation is paying ransom to terrorists, how do you want that terrorism to end? And when they give them this ransom, they use it to buy more weapons. When a weapon, a rifle that is registered to the office of the NSA was found with a Fulani man. Christians cannot defend themselves, but they will provide arms for Fulanis to keep killing you, to keep killing our people, to keep killing Christians. And all of you, wherever you are, keep moving on, keep enjoying whatever you are enjoying, and it does not bother you at all. I'm not here to charge you with anything this morning, but to bring this to you. And like I said, you all are fathers, and I'm a boy before you all. But we cannot continue to allow evil to prevail. That you were in this nation and they implemented Sharia, you were in this nation and Nigeria was registered under OIC, you were in this nation and all the killings have been going on, Christians have been killed in their stores, and you are doing nothing. And they say you are fathers. We thank you for all the spiritual meal and the spiritual thing you have done, which is good. But how about protecting the interest? There are some of you among the fathers that if you come out to hold a press conference and speak, it will change things in this Nigeria. The problem is that you do not do that. Many of you, God has given you the capacity, the influence, the affluence, the platform. But you have not done anything about that. A recommendation. The church must be intentional at this time to develop a security network. You must collaborate regardless of your denomination. Either you are Catholic or Pentecostal. After all, when they come, they will not ask you, are you Catholic or Pentecostal? They just do what they do. Either you are Catholic, Pentecostal, Anglican, whatever it is, Caribbean, Seraphim,